like. And we may find some Muslims in dealing with non-Muslims when they should be trying to reach them, getting the message of Islam to them, they are cursing them in this fashion. Oh, it's a kafir, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with this kafir. This, of course, this type of approach is wrong. When we look at the disbelievers, we should look at them as a doctor looks at the sick, his patient, the patient, those who are sick. He looks at them with some compassion that they are in a state of ill health and I need to find some remedy to help them. This is how the believer looks at the disbeliever. They're sick. They need help. Of course, you have some, who are not satisfied with being only in a state of disbelief, but who are going to try to harm the believers, take up arms against the believers. I'm not saying, you may still look at this person as being sick and in need of help, but you have to fight him, right? Your approach to him will be different from one who is sick and just doesn't know he's sick or whatever. You try to help him, you reach out to him, right? Trying to be kind, etc. Whereas the one who is sick and knows he's sick and is coming to try to destroy you because you stand for health, good health, spiritual health, then the only way that you can deal with such a person is by force. Questions from the sisters. Is tasting food we cook, does it break our fast? Well, technically speaking, if a person does not swallow what they have tasted, it does not break the fast. But it's something very, very dangerous. It's like playing with fire, as they say, right? So my advice would be that you don't taste the food, during the fast. You prepare whatever foods, your seasoning, whatever, before the suhoor when you can taste it, or even for the breaking of the fast, so you've already determined what the taste is like, and then you just have to go through the actual mixing and the cooking. Better to do it that way than to put yourself in that situation, because though, as I said, technically speaking, if you taste it, put it on your tongue, which gives you an idea of what it tastes like, and then you spit it back out again, that you have not broken your fast. But you are, putting yourself in a position where it may be possible for some of it to slip down your throat, and you feel it going down your throat. And if you do that, then you've broken your fast. So, as general advice, I would say, one should avoid tasting foods during Ramadan. Smelling the foods, some people mistakenly think that if you smell the food also, that this may break your fast. No, this doesn't at all. Can you start eating and drinking, or can we still eat and drink if the adhan has already started? That is, for suhoor, if you're eating or drinking, the adhan goes. Do you have to stop immediately whatever you're doing? No. In fact, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said that if the adhan goes and you have a bowl of food or a glass of drink in your hand, finish it before putting down the vessel. That is, you will finish eating what is in your hand. Not that the adhan goes and there was some food there that you plan to eat, so you're going to now pick it up and start eating. No. You're limited to what is in your hand. And of course, one has to take this in the correct spirit too, because it also means that, if you've had ample time to eat, etc., then the adhan is coming in another minute, so now you pick up a whole bunch of things and fill your arms with food and drink, so you can continue eating for another 15, 20 minutes after the adhan. Again, though we may be complying with the letter of what the Prophet ﷺ said, we're not in fact complying with the spirit.
When the spread of night, the spread of day, which is period beyond the adhan.
No, the adhan is at the time of the thread, the white thread of the day appearing. This is when the adhan that we are hearing goes. There used to be 2 adhans in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. There was a pre-adhan which was made. 3?
No. They do it from
Oh, okay. Yeah. In some places in Riyadh, you will hear the 2, right? But in the Prophet ﷺ's time, it was common. They had 2 adhans. You know, one was a pre-adhan, which was made by Bilal, and this was to let the people know that the adhan for Fajr was coming. And then Ibn Maktoum, the blind companion of the Prophet ﷺ, would give the adhan of Fajr. So the one we're hearing now is that adhan of Fajr, which is when the white thread appears. The white thread of the morning appears distinct from the night.
Brother, what about our own saliva?
Our own saliva. Our own saliva is okay. I mean, this is part of your system. Saliva is going down your throat all the time. You're not breaking fast by doing that, you know. I mean, conceivably, we could create a circumstance, right, where if we go around smelling enough foods and thinking about food enough, that we can get a mouthful of saliva, right? And, you know, then you could end up in a state where it's like you're actually drinking, you know. But under normal circumstances, if one gets saliva in one's mouth, I know some people are mistaken in this, and you'll find people spitting all the time. This is saliva which you may swallow is not considered breaking the fast. When you wash your mouth after wudu, and you spit out what is in your mouth, that process of washing your mouth will cause the saliva to flow afterwards. It is not required of you, after you've spat out what you have gargled with, now for you to continue to spit until the saliva stops being produced. No. I mean, once you've spat out what was in your mouth, then whatever else comes in your system is a part of your system. You know, maybe you might have a runny nose, right? And it's draining into your system the whole time through the fast. It does not break your fast. Okay? Question?
It's not about Ramadan, but in Indonesia, it's not uncommon for the people to use the blood, for Muslims to use the blood of the animals to make food with. Now the question is, if what they do is they'll slaughter the animal and then catch the blood and cup and save it for later, is the meat of that animal then haram to eat? What they're selling about?
Question for those who couldn't hear it is that our brother mentioned in Indonesia there's a common practice of the people when they slaughter an animal collecting the blood and using it later for cooking purposes, I guess making gravy or whatever, you know. We know that saving the blood is haram. For a Muslim to save that blood, to collect that blood, to cook with that blood, etc., is haram. It makes that food that they're eating haram. Now, is the animal which is slaughtered according to the Islamic principles, but the blood is collected, does that animal become haram? No. The animal does not become haram.
So then if you go to the butcher and you insist that he slaughters in front of you, and he slaughters and saves the blood and then gives you the meat, it's okay to take it?
Yes. If the butcher slaughters, collects the blood for himself, but gives you the meat, that meat is halal meat. What he is doing with